today's spot, we're going to be having a look at the Spectacular Spider-Man Spider-Charged Sandman. This Sandman figure has Sand Smash and includes a Cyber Spider. Collect them all. I would avoid not. I'm just going to skip that. But looking at the packaging, we've got Spider-Man up at the top left-hand corner. And it comes with, as I already mentioned, a red spider. Meh. On the back, it gives you a nice picture of Sandman here with his weapon. Then down below, yes, many more repaints. We've got Spider-Man with snap-on web blasters, which, you know, if you haven't picked up the other Spider-Man yet, you know, you might as well get this guy, because it doesn't look like there's too much more to him. There's Black Costume Spider-Man with removable wings. There is almost like a camouflage repaint of Lizard. I really don't know why. And then there's Spider-Man with snap-on scuba gear. Oh boy. But there you go. Pretty much a wash, if you ask me. A total wash on these figures. The only reason why I got this figure, and I'll get into this when I open the figure up, but Sandman's really the only one I wanted from this set. But there you have packaging on the Sandman figure. What I'll do is I'll get this guy opened up, and we will get a closer look at the figure. So stay tuned. Now that we have Sandman out of his package, we'll get a closer look at the figure. And before we actually get to the accessories themselves, we'll move these over. For those who have actually watched my review of the Spectacular Spider-Man figures, you'll know that the Sandman figure was already released as an initial Sandman. The exact same mold was used. There was nothing different used between the two. Same articulation, same as everything else. You'll notice, though, the one thing right off the bat is that this Sandman, the recent one, you'll notice that the paint application on this Sandman is a little more basic than on this Sandman. On this Sandman, you can make out it's got different... First of all, the sand is a lighter color. And you can make out all the little grains and specks of sand. And now this Sandman here, where this Sandman stopped at the knee, this Sandman has more of the sand discoloration all the way up to his chest. That was one of the reasons why I picked up this figure, just because it looked more. It was another stage of him changing over to the sand, you know, the sand coloring. I suppose aside from that, it's really the exact same figure. So you're probably saying, well, why would you get it just for that reason? Well, I was crazy. But aside from that, I mean, as you can see, it's the exact same figure all around, aside from the fact that the coloring is just a little different on this figure. Now this Sandman, the original one, came with two hands, two different sand hands. He also did come with a hammer, a sand hammer. Now I've already done a review of this guy, so I really won't get too much into this. But those are the accessories that this particular Sandman came with. This Sandman, however, didn't come with the hammer. He didn't come with the additional hand that this Sandman had. The one thing he did come with, though, was this. It kind of looks like a jetpack. This weird kind of spider blast gun, I think, if you want to call it that. But you can snap that into his arm here. And now he's got a cannon, like it looks like almost like a turbine thing. Now you can have it left just as is if you want, but he also did come with this kind of sand tentacle kind of. Oh, it gets better, guys. This toy just gets better and better. And peg it into placer. He also did come with this, and you're probably still saying, well, why would you buy this? Well, you know, I don't know. I just thought it was kind of interesting. It was neat that it had this kind of sand cannon, I think, if you want to call it that. I don't think it necessarily does anything else aside from that, though, which is kind of disappointing. But, you know, it's something different. Let me just reach down here for a second. It says, see, the card says spinning Sandblast. Well, it doesn't really spin as much as you press this lever on the back here, and it does that. Although, no, it doesn't look like it does anything else. I thought this would rotate somehow. I guess you can just turn it. Wow, that is awesome. But like I said, it's not for everybody. I just kind of got it because I thought, oh, it's another cool Sandman figure. The one thing I really wish the Sandman figure would have had was a ball jointed shoulder. At least then you could put his arms down. Because I mean, like this, the way he has it now, you can either put his arm out or you can put his arm up. And it would have been nice actually if you could have just had his arms straight. But the same problem I had with the previous Sandman figure, I have problems with this Sandman. It relies too much on sculpt. It relies too much on sculpt and less on the figure itself. So in the way of his articulation, he has an articulated head. He has shoulder articulation, and he can bend at the elbow, but that's about it. He also can move at the legs, but because he's got just a kind of a stump base, you really can't do too much with him aside from what he's doing right now. Would I recommend this figure? Probably not, unless you are a Sandman figure or you're a fan of Spectacular Spider-Man figures like me, enough to want to spend the $8 or so to get this figure. But there you have it. That was the Spider-Charged Sandman from the Spectacular Spider-Man line in all his wondrous splendor. And I hope you guys enjoyed it. And I'll see you guys next time. Oh man, that was crap.